Soaking up game, fast and furious, no third-hand information, nothing but that real talk loading. Now, episode 2, we got the homie Adrian here out of Modesto, right?
Yes, sir.
Right on. Now, Adrian, we were talking earlier a couple days ago about, your whole quest on opening up this gym, and you got deeper and deeper, and I appreciate you opening up a little more because it got real interesting, and I kind of wanted to cut you off there because I wanted to save it for the podcast,
Right, yeah.
And if you don't mind, you want to get to like the core of the, the motivation of what helped you start up the gym, before you started it up.
Yeah. So before the gym, it was more so, it was like my lifestyle. I was kind of like known to be the dude that always worked out. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I was still, getting by on other ventures and stuff. But working out was like the most consistent thing that I've ever done. You know what I mean?
Like, what kind of adventures did you go on?
Ventures, just how we grew up. You know what I'm saying? Just
you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but like, did you partake in drugs?
Consuming, no. I was never really a consumer like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You were doing the wrong, the opposite.
Yeah.
Alcohol?
Yes, big time. And that's the thing about I think that working out was kind of like the balance that I had between alcohol and I guess that positive side of what I do. You know what I'm saying?
So alcohol was like obviously your downside.
Yeah, big time. Yeah,
I mean, you don't drink no more?
As of right now, no, I don't drink, bro. Like I went through a phase of basically where I was trying to cut it, you know what I mean? And there was a lot of negative things attached to it that it would bring out in me, you know what I'm saying? Like just, a spiral. It's just like the way you do habitual good habits, like working out and whatnot. Yeah. And that could, transcend to something else, more better eating and whatever. Well, the same thing was with alcohol, you know what I'm saying? And it was kind of hard to do it, but I did it in phases, you know what I mean? Like now I'm to a point where like I put it in my head where like I wasn't going to give alcohol the power to where like I turned to this guy where it's like, man, it's been 10 years I haven't drank, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like now I'm at the point where like I can actually, like if I go on a weekend getaway with my wife, I can take a little cocktail or whatever and then get right back on program.
Yeah.
And like right now, like I'm good. Like, it's very, like I'm my I think I just got more purpose now.
So you could have a couple and cut it out.
Yeah.
Well, then that's good. Then you got some discipline.
And it was never like that at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, I was the guy. Thirsty Thursdays comes and he's trying to drink and you know what I mean.
See, a lot of people won't admit that, man. That alcohol is a bad thing. It's a lot. A lot of people still are ashamed to say that. Yeah, this shit fucks you up. And they try to hide it by doing good things with it and, making a positive purpose on watching the game or, at a birthday party. But if you can't just have a couple, you shouldn't do it. I'm speaking with experience when I say that.
Yeah, especially like I took a good look at myself too, like realizing like what I'm trying to do, because like I said, working out was like one of the most consistent things I've done alongside with all the negative shit, It was almost like ran parallel, you know what I mean?
Right.
And now that I've piled on so much responsibility into the fitness thing, I took a good look in the mirror and said, damn, dude, what are you doing? Like, you ain't even setting the example here, like yourself, like, and I'm an open book about it because I'm an example of how you can overcome that shit, you know what I'm saying?
So let's talk about let's talk about I remember you mentioned some of your strategies. What was some of your I remember you said something about your timing of when you would work out so you won't get distracted.
Okay, yeah. So I was going through a real dark place at the time, especially when I first started this brand. Because the gym came later. The gym is kind of like what I call it. It's a baby of my brand, of my main business, which I want to eventually, accumulate more gyms. Potentially a couple other different, businesses that I can attach to the same, which is my brand, Machines in Motion. And when I first started the brand, it was more so just like a connection that I can, attach my fitness to. You know what I'm saying? Especially with my background and all that stuff. And what I would do is Friday nights, especially during this time of this dark place that I was in, I knew I was going to be destructive. I was in a real dark place. My brother was going through trial at the time, and I was like hammered down with clinically people call it depression. Spiritually, so they'll say
that shit's real.
Possessed. you know, other spiritualists call it you're at a low vibrational state or whatever, you know.
Right.
I was just in a rough, you know what I mean?
Right.
And working out really saved me, you know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of people that they get in that dark place, and fitness just, you know, for some reason fitness is the savior, man.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, man. You one of the things that you inspired me on the phone, what you said is your like one of your strategies of when you would work out, you would plan on a Friday night, you would work out late.
Yeah.
So you know that after the gym, you wasn't gonna just go and waste it and drink a beer after.
Because the way I'm programmed to do it is like you know you start looking in the future as far as like, oh, I don't drink Monday through Friday. I drink Friday night. You know what I mean? So like you're already so the first thing you want to do is get up. Every time I want to get up in the morning and hurry up and go get all the things I need to do, get it out the way just so I can get that michelada.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
That's how we all are.
You want to hurry up and do that. So what I did, I just said, you know what? Like you haven't even earned that yet. You know what I'm saying? So like I stopped. I started kind of like purposely maneuvering some stuff around, and I started drinking. Not till Saturday, you know what I mean? I would maybe after the gym go get something to eat and I'd have a beer, but then that next Saturday morning I was up in the gym again, or whether I'd be at the park if I had some plans with some of the homies to work out,
right?
And then them kind of like, kind of relying on me to say, hey, let's go work out. You kind of start adding a little bit of accountability there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you mentioned something about your brother, him catching that case and going to trial and all that. That inspired you to open the gym?
Well, like I said, man, it backpedals back to the brand. You know what I mean? The gym was something that I kind of just took a leap of faith on. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't until later that I was scrolling down an offer up post or whatever, and I seen some guy had it, and I was just like, the timings were like during the pandemic and stuff, and gyms were closing, and I was thinking to myself of opening up like a 800 square foot little facility just to do something private and personal train and things like that, because the gyms were shutting down. That was during like the pandemic as far as opening the gym, but the main ignitement of the brand was during that time of when I was feeling at my lowest, and my brother going through trial, and I was like at a numb state, and I just, I did it for fun. I just, one day I started sketching. I drew out my what I call the classic logo. Mm-hmm. I drew it, freehanded it, and I just threw it on a T-shirt. I didn't even tell nobody about it. I didn't tell my wife. Yeah. I didn't say nothing. I just started doing it.
Right.
And then I busted out with it, and I remember my wife looked at me like she, I don't know, she like believed in me, she like believed in it, and she just thought it was like, at the time she might have thought it was just like something cute, like, oh, look at you, doing this, whatever. Yeah. And I just kept at it, just starting with that, and
you were real close with your brother, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And this time you were writing, you were coming up with the logo and the mock-up and stuff like that. Was you in that dark place when you were, when you're stressing, like it was, because you and your brother were close,
not at
right?
that moment, but in that time period, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of, it was just, when it comes with art, man, I'm sure, I don't know if you're, you do music, and, you kind of just get into this abstract state where you just like start flowing, you know what I mean? And I've always liked to draw when I was young, sketch, whatever. And I just started doing, that's what happened. My wife actually had bought me a sketchbook for Christmas.
Right.
And I was like, let me just, I hadn't sketched in a while. So I was like, let me just start messing around. I did it, and I just, busted out with that. And
All right. So so what year did you open up your gym?
I believe it was 2020.
2020?
Mm-hmm.
And what year did your
2020
brother?
or 2021, something like that.
I'm trying to place your brother in this. Like, what year did your brother catch his case?
He caught the case in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2016 was when he actually committed his crime, and then he went to trial for he did county time, and he didn't go to trial till two and a half years later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the beginning it was like one of those things where you just it's surreal. It's like, damn,
right.
There's a little bit of hope there. You don't know, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even him, he had the hope that he was, oh man, I'm gonna be out, yada yada. I'm like, bro, this is serious, you know what I'm saying? This is some serious stuff. Yeah. And when I think it was more for me when he started going to trial that things started getting real.
Right, you mentioned
and
that.
I started, and that's when I started the brand itself, you know what I mean? And at that time it was kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's just like a purpose type thing, because now this brand and the gym in general is helping a lot of people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, something motivates you there. Something sparked. Like you got some good out of it. There's always some light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I want to say that the gym itself is more like the peak of the iceberg.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that little bit but then there's so much below it. You know what I mean? That's kind of like how I would like to look at that. You know what I mean?
And the name of your gym is Machines in Motion.
Well, it's the highlight of it is called the Yard.
The Yard. Okay.
The Yard, and it's the way I like to tell people, it's the Yard. It's by Machines in Motion.
Okay.
Because it's like I said, it's a baby of it, and like later on, like let me just give you an example. Like I like cars.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have this venture that I want to go on, where I'm going to open up the garage, and it's going to be the same thing under Machines in Motion. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want to do.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right. So how many members you got right now?
Right now, I got I just actually eliminated a whole bunch of them. So I retained a solid 140 right now, about 137 to 140, somewhere around there.
Oh, why'd you eliminate some?
Well, I eliminated them off of my just like cancel. Just I do it for like to get the real number of who's coming and who's not going.
Okay.
Like my system tells me like who's reoccurring and who's not coming.
Oh, okay.
So what I do is I just like if there's a whole lot of people that are just like past due and I know they're not coming back because I'm on a month-to-month contract with people. I don't put them in no locked in crazy rate. You know what I mean? So I'm at about 137 right now.
Yeah. And how old are you right now?
38.
Oh, so you started that around 34, 35?
Yeah, actually the brand was 33. Yeah, I was 33. I did a lot of.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that 33, like I was saying in the phone.
What was that when Jesus was?
Yeah, I mean,
or something like that?
Jesus was,
Yeah, you
the
mentioned
greatest
your
man,
brother.
the greatest man that ever walked was sacrificed at that age. So it's like it's only right that we all pay some type of, homage to that in a sense of like, enlightenment or whatever it is that we have to go through. You know what I mean?
Didn't you say your brother mentioned something when he was going through that dark time, like something strange is going to happen or life changing?
So one day we were on our way to Stockton to get, I believe, a car part for my Camaro that I'm still trying to build. But we're driving and we were just shooting the shit. And my brother was always very, I guess, I don't know. You just had to know the guy to really put a label on how he was, you know what I mean? And we were just driving and he was just going on about his things and he was saying about how he was going to be tested or something was going to happen to him when he turned 33. And so what happened was during that time he was going through a pretty dark place with his family situation and my brother was the kind of guy that frowned upon like consuming drugs and he always kind of like ran a pretty strict program with his with himself, real clean cut.
Yeah, I mentioned you noticed that.
Yeah, he was a real clean cut guy. Like he took care of himself. He always cared about his looks and stuff. But then he fell into the which what I would want to say is like karmic debt to his past. So he fell into the drugs, and that kind of just spiraled into like the drinking and just destructive losing his focus on what his priorities were, and ultimately he ended up, getting in a really bad accident and took someone's life, And that's,
was that while he was intoxicated?
I would like to say, I would think that's what they're accusing him of.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And it has a lot to do with the past and, it's all technicalities. You know how it is, man. Second degree murder. It's like, your priors all get involved and stuff. So
was it somebody he knew?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it was pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a sad story.
Yeah, he was coming home from the bar and he cyclipped somebody,
Oh,
he cyclipped somebody.
Drinking and driving.
Yeah,
man.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's one thing I always been scared of, but I got 2 DUIs when I was in my early 20s, my beginning 20s, and I got my second one back to back before I was even done with court for the first one. So they ended up running both of them consecutive. And but ever since then I was spooked. I'm driving like I don't care what kind of nice car I had. If I was at a bar with somebody, I'd be like, hey man, if you wanna go, you could drive. If not, I'm not driving. Like we're gonna start walking or call a taxi or something, But I really disciplined myself about that. I didn't jump behind that wheel no more. And I'm glad I didn't because there's some times where you just wake up in the morning and you're like, damn, what the fuck happened last night?
Yeah, and that's the thing about in his situation, you know, a lot of people that didn't really understand what was going on and didn't know the details of it. You know, when you got someone that's lived a life a certain way,
Yeah.
and they end up in the slammer, you just, you know, people that don't know and they're kind of judgmental, they think, well, you know, hopefully he gets his life around. It's like, this is a different situation. Like, this could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
this could have literally happened to anybody, and it just happened to happen to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the ripple effect goes
People
down.
are quick to point the finger when it's not them, but if you walk into an establishment, like let's just say a bar and grill where there's kids allowed there, it looks like there's no harm, no foul, because there's kids here and people are allowed to drink, and there's normal people, you know, just drinking. There's cops, school teachers, you know, construction workers, mechanics. But not all those people are getting a ride home.
Right.
You know, so everybody's taking that chance.
Right.
It's like if you raid somebody's house, you could raid any other house and find something in the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's a law, like you have to have probable cause to go in that house.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you never know when you're drinking, you never know who's getting picked that night. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. In his case, it was just really unfortunate. I think it was a big contributing factor to the place he was in. And this is where I'm kind of getting at with that too. Is you know, now fast forwarding and it all making sense to me. If my brother would have had somebody to be right there in his ear, because I mean he's my older brother. Mm-hmm. I was only able to give him so much, you know, advice.
You guys are a year apart?
About a year and a half or so.
Okay, so you guys are close.
And a half. Yeah, we're really close, man. We're like, we grow up, people thought we were like twins type shit, but even though I don't see it, but we're pretty close. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that had to fuck you up a little bit.
Right? Yeah. I mean, if anybody out there knows that's watching this, man, they know that me and my brother were like this. You know what I'm saying? We were super tight. I mean, we were like a dynamic duo when it came.
That's hard because not everybody's close with their brothers, so it's a loss, but not much of a loss when you're really, really close. So you like depend on each other, you know?
Yeah, we got this like telekinesis thing going on where I like know what he's thinking. It's just like, you know,
man.
So, that's kind of like now, like, you know, starting with the brand, now going to the gym, like the gym is like kind of like my, I don't want to say the complete breeding ground, but now I got a big community of people that, you know, that they like the brand, and now I'm kind of, now that that's doing its thing, I'm trying to get into like the coaching thing where I can like help people, because I do it at the gym all day. Yeah. You know what I mean? Talking to people, we lean on each other for advice. And if, like I said, if my brother would have had anything to help him to, you know, get out that dark place that he was at, you know, who knows what would have happened. And if I could help, you know, one person at a time, you can't save the world, but it starts with just a few people, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought that was tight when I seen you open that gym, because when I was 20 or 21, I was going to Gold's Gym in Morgan Hill, and I was working there. Mm-hmm. And I ended up becoming a trainer there. I used to wear shirts that said staff and stuff like that, and I had business cards, you know, trainer, and I used to train people, and we used to get paid. But I ended up not going further into it, like getting the kinesiology classes and all that stuff done. So I just didn't, you know, further that career. But it was like, it's inspiring because I trained my sons. I remember when they were just teenagers, like 13, 14, and I had them yoked up, you know, And it's so easy to get a kid at that age swole because their testosterone levels are super high. Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that. It's like right now you could hit like 2 plates, and there's guys that are 30, 40 years old that can't hit this, you know, because they're just, you know, your inner strength's just there.
Yeah.
You know?
The same thing with my little brother when this is way before, you know, he was like 14 at the time, and this is way before the brand. Yeah. But when he started working out with me, he would call me before the gym, like, "Hey, we going today?" Like, and he looked forward to it. Right. You know what I mean? And that kind of kept me accountable. So I've always, I mean, I was a dad early, so I got that like father type, like, you know what I mean? So, and I still got that with people at the gym. You know what I mean? And so I just feel like it's just like my calling, you know what I mean? Like, and if I hadn't made that decision years ago, right now, especially after the pandemic, especially after everything, the times we're in right now, bro, like, I don't know what I'd be doing, honestly, you know?
So before I forget, let's talk about some goals in the gym. You got any goals that you want to, like, as far as the gym goes, like with people, like members or anything like that? Because I got a couple at the top of my head, you know?
I got, well, I want to open up a few more so that I can, get more of an outreach. You know
Right.
what I mean? Just because I think it's a cool thing. It's relatable. Like especially when people can discern the what some people want to say is negative. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which what I like to say is kind of like preventative maintenance. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right. Keep them off the streets.
Yeah,
and
keep them.
stuff.
I mean, like I said, bro, it's one person at a time. You can't save everybody, but like right now, there's a little youngster that's coming to the gym, and if I could keep him doing that at least, and it's not even my responsibility to do it, but if the opportunity is there, and if this is a place that he feels comfortable at, versus going to a big commercial gym where they feel
Right.
the anxiety and they don't feel like they belong there, because it's not a big place, but it is its own little it's got a good energy. Anybody that's visited the gym knows that it's got good energy. You know what I mean?
Do you have any guys there that came and that wasn't as strong and that you helped them get to that point?
Yeah. So right now I get tagged in things all the time with people saying like this is the product of the yard,
Right.
and because they're able to make some real gains because you go to a commercial gym, you always got the option to either do this or that, and your eyeballs start wandering around and you start running into people and that over time it kind of starts affecting you.
Yeah.
You go to my gym, you got no choice with the workout. There ain't nothing else there but to do. I ain't
Yeah.
got no sauna. I ain't got no,
Yeah.
I ain't got no pool. You know what I mean?
But it feels good though because I could there's a few people, but like I'll just say my kids, like all my sons, I got them to a point like I could say I'm the reason why they was able to go past 2 plates. You know what I mean? I could say that was me.
Yeah.
That was me pushing them. You know?
Yeah. I've had a similar situation before the gym when I started working, doing my brand, and just making my T-shirts, and people were. I think I was telling you a little bit about this. About people were like, "Oh man, when are you going to come out with T-shirts and stuff?" I'm like, "Nah, not yet. I'm just just having fun with this whole thing. If anything, let's just keep getting together, go to the park, work out. Formulate a little team."
Mm-hmm.
And well, one day I was working on one of my boys, and I would watch him on his Snapchat at the time, and I noticed he was always at the gym. And we never worked out together, but I knew him well. I grew up with him, back in the airport. I knew him for a long time. And one day when I started, getting this vision together, I wanted to put people together. I said, "Hey man, why don't we work out sometime?"
Mm-hmm.
And we got to talking, and his workout methods were pretty plain, kind of bland. You know what I mean? And the first time we worked out, we did a pyramid set. We did a pyramid set, and I think he peaked out at like 185 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, cool. So we started. We went through 1 week, which was like an assessment week, and then after that, the next week we did total muscle destruction, and then the next week we did like a different like a combined muscle group, and then the following week we did like an active recovery week, and then the next probably I want to say 5-6 weeks later, we tried it again. We did another max out, like a pyramid set, and he hit 2 plates for the very first time ever in his life.
Yeah.
And when he popped up off that bench, he had this sense of pride.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's when
Hell
I said,
yeah.
and that's what I told him. That's the product right there. That's the product that I want to give everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At the same time, it gave you a good feeling, like some
yeah.
endorphins were released at
for
that
sure.
time.
Oh yeah, I get them right now just thinking about it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Thinking
Yeah.
about some of the things that.
See, and that's something that substitutes alcohol.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, once you start, bro, because hey, bro, it's an addictive feeling to to
Oh yeah.
to inspire and to start seeing that, getting accountable, because right now, think about it, I'm barely starting to detach that obligation of of appeasing some of my friends that want to drink. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And because you get that, I'll have a beer with you, bro. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm starting to detach myself. So now I have replaced that with now I'm gonna meet you there tomorrow. We're gonna hit it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got you know what I mean? And I'll never look at it like I'm gonna cut. I love my people. You know what I'm saying? Regardless to what choice they're still involved in, because I was there. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's one of those things where it's addictive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean because I was like one of the late bloomers of drinking in my circle. Everybody was smoking weed, drinking, smoking cigarettes, and all that way before me, and I always was into health, and I'm gonna walk around with an orange juice before I have a beer. So I didn't really start getting involved with alcohol until 19, 20. But and that was on my days off or whatever, special occasions. But to us, you know, growing up in the neighborhood, that's late because everybody was doing it before they were 18. You know, they were going to juvenile hall for drinking.
Yeah.
You know, but hey, you mentioned something about airport. Was it the airport district in Modesto? Yeah, I have some friends used to live there from San Jose. We used to go out there years back in like 99, 2000, all the way to like 2010 or something like that. We went out there.
Yeah, that's where I grew up there from like the age of like from a baby, past from what I could remember, all the way up till like kindergarten. And then after that, we moved from there to the west side. And then from the west side, we moved back over towards...
so you could say you're from Airport District then, right?
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but because I really don't like to, like, you know, label myself into one particular area. Right. But I want to say I got most of my game all of my game really, you know, more further up the street. You know what I mean?
To live there and go to school there... Because I seen that place, you know, like no disrespect, that shit is ghetto. Yeah. That's fucking ghetto as fuck. Like it's like a lost little neighborhood. Yeah. And the city don't even know it exists.
Yeah, it's just forgotten. Yeah. No, like I said, man. Like, well, what I like to think about it, like I come from humble beginnings. You know what I mean? I don't like my mom was always, you know, she never neglected us in that regard. You know, she was a young mom. You know what I mean? So if you and most people that grow up there, you know, they're roaming the yard and their parents are, you know, on something. You know what I mean? And that's an ugly thing. That's how
a reality. Airport was, man. There's just dogs running around and shit, and there's a liquor store. There's a school there, and I think you only had to leave there if you go to the Jack in the Box or the grocery store or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Besides that. You have any like highlights at your gym? Like any visitors that are, you know, pretty popular?
Yeah, the biggest one I've had was, well, as far as, you know, reaching like somewhat celebrity, Big Tone. You know what I'm saying? When he came out,
I seen the videos.
That was super dope. You know
Didn't Rico go out there too?
Oh, yep. Rico came out. A few other fellas, and I don't want to like forget anybody, but it was a good amount of people.
Yeah, you guys had a good little
within
video.
the Instagram community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I had totally just I got no problem, you know, taking position and being number two. I told the homie like, hey, you invite whoever you want to invite, and let's get this cracking. You know what I'm saying? It was a cool little thing.
I can't remember nobody else, but there's one other person I remember. Cinco went out there too.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
Okay. Yeah. Because I remember seeing pictures and stuff and videos.
Yep.
But there's so many different gym routines going on in the gym with the homie community. It's like it's a trip. So I don't know what gym they're at, or you know, because you could say like 3 years ago it wasn't like this. Not everybody, the rappers weren't into working out.
Yeah, you know, it's funny too because when I first started my brand, I actually went on Instagram and I would dig through there. Who's doing burpees? And nobody's doing burpees. Yeah. I didn't see anybody doing burpees back. This is 2018. You know what I'm saying? I was looking for them just because I want because at first I was gonna do. I think I was gonna go with Maki Ali store or something like that. That's what I was gonna go with. Yeah. But Machines in Motion was like something that I always, you know, when I would do burpees, it would be motion. You know what I mean? So
yeah, when I first started Instagram, I didn't see too many people inspired by working out. Yeah. And I don't know if you follow me back, you know, a few years ago.
Matter of fact, you were actually one of my biggest encouragements at the time, honestly.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you actually were. Actually, I got to give you that respect too, because we were just doing nothing really at the park, chilling, and I had put it, I think, on my story or something.
Oh, and, you started that? Okay, yeah. Damn, shit flies
and you messaged me saying like, "That's what's up. That's a good look."
Right.
I forget exactly what you had said, and I was like, "Yeah, man." And I think at the time, I had told you like a brief vision of like what I wanted to do. I'm trying to get these guys off the couch.
I remember it. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get these guys off the couch. I'm trying to get something positive going here. And I remember I had put together a little video at the park, and I did your music in the background. Right. And you gave me a shout out on that. And to me, that's encouraging because, okay, like you got recognition from somebody that other people obviously respect. Right. You know what I mean? And it's encouraging, you know what I'm saying? So
no, and likewise, I appreciate it, you know, that, you know, you even acknowledge and use my music into your little workout routine. And I remember you guys were at the park with
it. Yeah, we were doing it at the park, man. So
that's before you had the gym?
Yeah, that was way before the gym.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was before the gym, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The gym is like the peak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like when I would first start my page and I would put my workouts and I would get messages, "Hey, bro, you over here working out, man. I've been trying to get in it, and I did a thing where like I would just, if you didn't have a gym membership, I'd take time out of I'd be like, you know what, fuck the gym. Let's go work out the park then.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until you can get your gym right.
Hell
you know what I'm saying? Until you get your gym membership. And now I got the opportunity where if people don't have a gym membership, I can work with them and say, hey, you know what? If I'm there between these hours, slide. You know what I'm saying? Don't take no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you want the full access 24-hour pass. You got to get on the, on the membership side. But for the most part, if I'm there, I'm pretty cool people. I work with people as far as in not having the funds to start. Over time, it's not even necessarily the funds, man, because people got the funds. You know what I'm saying? People can get a $50 haircut. They can get the funds. They just don't prioritize the work that they're going to have to put in the gym. You know what I mean? So over time, if you give them enough leeway to come work out, they start to kind of need it. You know what I mean?
So you're 38 right now?
I'm 38, yes, sir.
So you're 38, and you walked into, how'd you walk into this building and start? Like, how'd you just start this? Did you know somebody that owns the building? You rented it for them, or?
Well, when I first had, because this building that I'm at right now, it's always been some kind of gymnasium, boot camp, or something, right? And it used to be a gymnastics studio long time ago,
right?
And the building used to be a whole. They renovated it. They made it look way nicer. It used to be. It looked like shit, basically. Yeah. And it always had like a real discreet, kind of like a side view. You know what I mean? And one day I was started thinking about the whole one day a boot camp. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm from the area, so like I was just driving around and I seen it, and I was like, you know what? This place. I wonder what's up with this place. So I pulled up, and it was already a boot camp. I think it was like Absolute Fitness or something like that. And I was like, damn, I knew I was onto something. So I was like, whatever, left it alone. And fast forwarding, and I forget the time period that was, bro. That had to been probably like maybe like 2017, something like, no, lying. That was after my brother's thing. So around 2019 or 18, around there when that happened. And fast forwarding to the pandemic, when all that had happened, I was just driving and I was just curious again. This was after the whole finding the first amount of gym equipment on OfferUp that I had found. And then I was like, out of curiosity, I'm gonna go check it out, and it happened to be empty. And I'm like, dude, I'm big on signs, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, this has to be it.
So was there a number on there you found, or?
Yeah, so there was a number on the other side of the building. I just kept walking around, called them, scheduled a meeting with the lady, and put my application. Told them not so much my vision, because I didn't really have a clear one.
Right.
I just said, this is what I want to do. I want to open up a gym.
You just took a chance.
Yeah, I didn't. I never released the building.
You didn't have the whole blueprint.
Yeah, I never released the building at all. Like, I didn't know what I was doing.
That's what I'm so curious about, because this is inspiring, because a lot of youngsters are watching, and this is going to be something.
You know what's crazy? A lot of people give too much power on the unknown. Like, you don't know yet.
Right.
So just try it. What's it going to hurt, Yeah. So I did. I applied, and they approved me. And at this point is when gyms started really getting slammed down. I started getting discouraged. I was like, oh, damn. Like, this is getting real. Like, they're about to say yes. You know what I mean? And so I actually got cold feet for a little while.
Yeah.
Right? I got cold feet for about like 6.
Well, the story gets more interesting.
Yeah, bro. So I got cold feet for like 6 or 8 months or so. And I backed out, and I was like, nah, that's going to be too much on me, yada, yada. And I ended up, this is when the pandemic started to get more like a little, not over with, you know what I mean? But I found a gym in Waterford that was a 24-hour gym. And I was like, these guys are still taking people, man. Like, what's up with this? So, and the way it was, if you didn't know somebody that was already there, it was a hard chance that you were gonna get a membership, because when you went and knocked, they ain't answering the door. Half the time, no one was there.
Yeah.
So, I seen someone on my story working out there. I was like, let me know when someone's there so I can go check it out. And so he messaged me like, hey, come now. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went. So I liked it. I was like, damn, this is what Modesto needs right here. You know, we need something like this.
Right.
And that's where I got the ideas for the 24-hour gym. And then I said, you know what? So I emailed the lady. I said, hey, is it still good? And she called me. She was like, hey, you still interested? Let's put something together. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then and just went for it.
So did they ask for like a deposit or something like that, or?
At the time, no. At the time, my credit was decent enough, I guess, to
Just start renting?
Just to start the leasing process. Okay. You know what I mean? And eventually, I had to get a deposit put together. I ended up asking for, which I wish I would have asked for more time, but I asked for 2 months free rent so that I didn't have to pay nothing right away. Give me time to, do the, build out, because I had to build an office in there. I moved a door because I didn't like the aesthetics of the placement of it for the bathrooms. Just little things like that, painted. I mean, I was in there doing everything too, you know what I'm saying?
And you was already collecting equipment.
I had a whole bunch of stuff in storage already.
Stuff, right?
Yeah, I already had stuff in storage I was like, man, I got to get rid of that storage. I'm paying $150 a month on that, and it's just sitting there. But it was a good amount of stuff. Yeah. And as I started putting stuff in the gym, I didn't like it. I was like, man, this stuff looks weird. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, this looks weird. So I started pulling stuff out, and I ended up finding my first batch at this one place. They were able to not finance, but they were doing layaway. It was like it's all secondhand equipment. It was like probably like at a quarter of the price of what they go for, and it's all life fitness stuff. And something just stood out. It was a big hunk of equipment, and it was all red. And I was like, oh, that's it right there. Let me go look at that. And they only had basically what I have in my gym now is what they had available, because another person ended up buying like maybe 4, like 2, 3 something. It was like a shoulder press machine that was missing, a tricep extension, a few things, and then they had the big 6-stack that was matching it that they didn't include. So I ended up just picking up that. And when I brought that into the gym, I was like, damn, this looks dope. So then I started just powder coating all my cheap stuff that I got for super cheap. I started powder coating it, and then just before you know it, I got
created from the bottom, man.
Yeah, and then even like the walls, man, like everything's like kind of meant to be, man. Because like when I went to go get a color, when I laid it on the walls, like, this isn't what I asked for, like. Yeah. And then I kept going. I was like, you know what? This actually looks kind of cool. It was dark, just pitch black, and it all looked pretty good, Man,
yeah. So besides the gym, is that your only source of income right now? Is that keeping you afloat?
Yeah, right now it's
your business.
Cool. Yeah, it's my business. Yeah, okay. I'm all in. My wife's got a good job. She's a teacher in high school. She teaches science, so she makes good income right now. Like. It all worked out kind of cool, perfectly, really, because during the times when I was doing okay, she was going to school and she was also bartending, so we were good. You know what I mean? We were good, like we were getting by just fine. Okay. And so now it's like I'm able to really dial down on this, and I barely started actually hitting profit probably this past year, a little bit, maybe even late into last year.
So that's why you're looking to open up another one.
Yeah, I would like to. I really want to open up. I wanted to expand my gym, but there's legal things that I can't even get past. Their legal boundaries because it's a long story. Yeah. But I really wanted to expand it, but now it's like I got the opportunity to potentially open up one across town, which is actually even better because it covers more ground. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not going to go too hard on that yet because I got a couple business ventures with the brand that I'm going to focus on right now. Yeah. And try to get that lucrative first, and then also like my coaching, like my online coaching, trying to teach people mindset training and macronutrients. Teach people that, because to me it comes off the top of my head, but I'm surprised that people don't know it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Do you have any certain classes in there where it's like somebody's say like bench press records and stuff like that?
No, we haven't had anything like that. Yeah.
Because I remember when I was a kid, we used to go to these little certain gyms. What was in the boys' ranch? There was records up there, like who had the most bench press and stuff like that, like goals to set.
Yeah, a little friendly in-house rivalry type.
Yeah, give somebody something like a goal to meet.
Yeah, no, I haven't had anything like that, but that's definitely something cool.
Because somebody could grow out of there and end up having their own little YouTube business page just for that, and it comes out of your gym. Yeah, yeah. So it's other things.
I keep an eye out for that kind of stuff, especially like there's some kids that just are naturally strong. Yeah, and it's really up to them if they're gonna really put in the work and actually commit. Yeah, and take that temporary dissatisfaction of the end goal. Right. But I think I see that, and it's just a lot of energy. I got so much going on. Like I would love to be able to prospect someone to be a power lifter or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like get them into something like that. Some kind of some competitive, with bench pressing or squats or whatever it is, deadlifts,
Yeah.
And I think that'd be pretty awesome, and another thing to put on your belt because you got a lot of things to be proud about.
Started with me like in high school, just that power of like benching, just.
You played ball?
No, I never played ball, man. The high school coaches were trying to get me to play because I was a big ass kid.
Yeah.
At like 15 years old, I was already benching 300.
Yeah.
225 ended my sophomore year.
Yeah.
I mean 225 ended my freshman year, and then in the sophomore year I finished it at 300. I didn't get to 315, and that was right when I had to get my first umbilical hernia surgery done.
Oh yeah.
And so that set me back, and then just over so that started then. But then fast forwarding a couple of years later, I started working out again, like with my uncle. My uncle, he did time in the pen, and he was in super good shape, straight soldier.
Yeah.
And he first introduced me to burpees, and that shit killed me. You know what I mean? I was like only maybe 16, 17 at the time, and that shit killed me. And unfortunately, I ended up had to do a little time in the county and reintroduced the burpees again, and you had no choice but to love them, and I loved them afterwards,
So you went to the county. So, I mean, did you ever go to juvenile hall or anything like that?
No, I never been to juvenile hall.
So you
like
went
that,
to the
man.
county. So you end up getting like trapped in the system a little bit.
Yep.
I mean, because most people that go there can't get out. A lot of people, they don't know how to shake probation and follow the rules when they get out. So that's another point to point out. It's successful. You made it through that shit.
Yeah. And I think in my case, like like I said earlier, like I come from humble beginnings. Not my mom always kept us on a pretty strict path. You know what I mean? Like I feared her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like fuck mom. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So. It wasn't until like my later teen years when you start to kind of like need like figures and someone to kind of like hammer down on you on your do's and don'ts, and I ended up unfortunately just falling into just making my own decisions.
Even when you got all the things in the right places, a father, a mother, uncles, coaches, you still end up the people still go down the wrong path.
Yeah.
So it's just like you're like fortunate that because now that where you're at now. The only thing that'll fuck you up is if you go and get over intoxicated and drink and drive.
Right.
Or, you do something else that alcohol,
Yeah, I find that recently I was starting to get really tested by like my demons, you know what I'm saying? Like and I was starting to kind of spiral, and it's kind of one of those things where like when you kind of like put off, like say you put off drinking for a while and then you want to catch up. You know what I'm saying? Because you hadn't drank in a while.
Right.
So I really noticed I started having to like buckle down on.
You feel like you earn it.
Yeah.
Like you earned it. You know what? I've been doing good for so long. Why not?
Yeah, and it's actually even more destructive because like you feel entitled to that shit, and it's really just
Don't do it, man. If you don't do it, man, just don't even do it. Like if I could go sober for as long as you went sober and do it, I would never drink. Like beer is like kind of like a waste of time. Like it's just it's fun, the music, the fun, all that stuff, but. It throws you off. Like if it doesn't, like the worst case scenario, you end up catching the case. The least thing, you're arguing with your girl over some things you said the night before, or you fuck up your whole diet. You worked out for 30 days straight, drank nothing but water. You're tight as fuck, and then all of a sudden you drink and you want fucking McDonald's and Wiener Schnitzels. Your inhibitions are out the window for after that.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand is like when you are trying to like. When you're trying to do physical fitness and you're trying to, stay on a certain, on a certain program, I've been told like, man, well, you're like healthiest guy we know. Like, why you should be doing all right? I'm like, if anything, it's the opposite. It's because I do try to, to me, my body, this is foreign. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you go maybe two-thirds of the time sober, clean, eating right, and then you go on the weekend and you're drinking, and it's like, what the fuck is all this poison you're giving me? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So well, like you said, if you can handle a couple, and that's not a problem. I think if I'm right, it says in the Bible that drinking is not a sin. It's getting drunk that's a sin. So,
having a drink. Yeah, I think once you alter your your state and you start to become a whole different person.
Yeah.
You kind of like drop that guard. You kind of give that
Your inhibitions are out the window, man. I don't care what nobody says. I don't give a fuck how people say, "Oh, alcohol don't do bullshit." You've been getting away with it. You know, shit does make you crazy sometimes.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, man. But that's pretty successful, man. I'm proud of you, man. And like when I see your stuff, and you reminded me about the park thing, man, and that was cool. And because you were at the park doing something right. I just told some youngsters the other day, like, what the fuck you doing at the park? You know, like, what kind of man goes to the park that has kids?
Yeah.
And don't take the kids.
Yeah.
What the fuck's like? What's the purpose? You know what I mean? But if you're there doing what you're doing, working out, if they would have hit me with that, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That'd shut me up quick.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And the only reason we were there is because, like I said, those guys, and even a few would have memberships, but some didn't. You know what I mean? They didn't have their, and at the commercial gyms, you can't just bring nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's a lot of people who want to work out. Like me, I used to sneak. In my neighborhood, there was a high school next door, and we used to hop the fence and sneak in the high school just to work out. Mm-hmm. And we used to, people used to try to kick us out, but we used to fight our way back in. Like, come on, man, like there ain't no teachers ain't here, principals ain't, whatever. So they would let us, like, people started liking us, and some of the guys we knew worked out, went to that school. So we used to go in there and have fun. We wanted to be in the gym. We wanted to work out. There's so many people who want to work out that just don't have gym memberships or access to gym.
Yeah, I got a couple people that come to my gym that if I didn't have this gym to provide them, they probably wouldn't be working out, to be honest with you. And not even to toot the gym's horn, but it's just something about that, social anxiety of them just like feeling judged. I mean, like, think about like that main gym. I'm not trying to say the name of it, but like it's supposed to be the non-judgment zone, right? But it's like super judgmental. Yeah. And it's like at my gym, it's like, you're gonna walk in probably by yourself most of the time, and if you got a problem, and the only downside is the isolation. If you got a problem with that, then this ain't the place for you. But the people that like my gym, they like the isolation. They're like, you know what I mean? And I know firsthand. I know like one particular guy that's coming to my gym now that, he just went through a tragic, something real tragic, bro, like really, really tragic. And he told me, he's like, I got in the bottle for like a day. And I told my wife, like, you know what? We got to stop this shit. This shit ain't going to bring him back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he told me, like, man, the coming to the gym's like one of the things that's helping me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll be honest. If it wasn't for the gym, I haven't been 100% this last few weeks, but if it wasn't for the gym in my life, like, I've been in the gym since I was 13 years old. You said you hit 3 plates at 15?
Yeah, 300.
Yeah. I hit 2 plates at the age of 13, and I have a shout out to my boy, Terry. We're not that close no more, but I was real close with his little brother, Tyree. Rest in peace, Tyree. But we did it in his backyard, and they were like, "What the fuck?" Like, as I was skinny, like, "How the fuck you? What the fuck?" But I hit that shit, man.
That brute strength.
Yeah. But are you still working out with your hernia situation?
Yeah. I work around it. I mean, I got 10 excuses not to work out, man, but got to do it, man. You got to get it done.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be getting the surgery here coming up soon and repair that, so I'm going to be going through a little bit of a back sled.
You think that was from powerlifting or what?
I was born with it.
Oh,
I was born with my first one that I got operated on. I was born with that one, and once you have that opening down there, you're just susceptible to it. You know what I mean? And all the burpees and lifting that I do, I mean, it's either that or I'm gonna get carpal tunnel sitting down at a desk or something. You know, or just get overweight. I mean, there's no, you know what I mean? So.
Well, man, I think this is a pretty good, inspiring story, man. Is there anything else you want to cover?
Not really, man. Just hopefully, those little small highlights as far as like the, the troubled, past that I mentioned of other people that has helped them through, fitness, and it starts with just accepting the mind, what I'm saying, and listening to that conscience, what I'm saying, and
well, one more question, you think if that never happened to your brother, you think you guys would have went down the wrong path?
That's a good question, bro. I never really thought of it that way.
It's a possibility.
It's crazy, bro. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even know how to answer that, bro, because
he was talking about, like, I'm pretty what do you call it, spiritual. Like, I believe in a lot of things and shit. Mm-hmm. So, and you said he was mentioning things like Jesus, at 32 and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe he could have like sacrificed himself for you in some kind of way.
Even that night, bro. Like, even that night, he told one of my good friends that something. I don't forget the context of what he said, but in a nutshell, he said like, "What's gonna happen tonight is meant to be."
Right.
Something like that.
Right.
And it's like, dude, how? Like, not like on no like psychic thing, but like, you know, he just has something in him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, unfortunately, you know, what happened, and you know, if that is the case, then you know, it's a cliche to say, but God works.
Yeah, well, he was. Ways, if you put two and two together, you know, he was mentioning the age of, you know, when Jesus Christ, you know, died on the cross and stuff like that. How old he was, and you know, it's kind of trippy, you know, because I pay attention to detail about spiritual things like that. You know,
yeah, me too. I've been really big on that, especially with men, you know, men and women actually. You know, that age is a very pivotal point. And the next one that they say is like 42 or something like that too. So if you could think back to 42, if there's been made, you know, changes that were made during that time, you know, that's what they say, you know. Yeah.
Well, Adrian, it was nice having you. Let them know where they can look you up on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram at machines_in_motion. And I also have a YouTube, but I ain't got a whole lot of videos on there yet, but you can still look it up.
Yeah, tell them look it up so you could get some stuff on there.
Yeah.
Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Off the top of my head, man.
That gave shout outs to your gym, people that supported it, anything, you
know. My family, man. My family that's like my mom that comes helps me with the bathrooms, things like that.
Yeah.
You know,
can't forget about
the insignificant things that people overlook.
Yeah.
My wife for supporting me for all the stuff that she deals with as far as like, you know, my inadequacies.
Yeah.
My kids for keeping me in line. You know.
Right. Yeah.
For my kids for having a purpose. You know what I'm saying? All my gym members actually come and support. You know, believing in what I'm trying to get done, and without all them, man, it's nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe.